Hi, Cass. How are you? Ooh, it's always nice to feel productive. I'm absolutely exhausted. I don't know what happened. Like, I woke up at 6, and that was after, 7 hours of sleep. And then I, went back to bed, and I slept for, another 2 hours. And I woke up even more tired than I normally am. I don't know what is wrong with me. And in typical, like, I don't know what, this, weekend has been cursed. I know it's technically not the weekend yet, but since I came down here, I dropped my iPad this morning, or last night, and it cracked from one corner all the way down to the other corner. So I was pretty fucking irritated about that. Yeah, it's the worst. And, I'm on stimulants now, too. And I've had 2 cups of coffee. And I'm just, hoping doing something and getting my mind on something else, actually wakes me up a little bit. And, of course, so usually I shower around, 9 or 10. And then I come stream. But of course, my dad decided at 10 that he needed to shower, and there's only one shower down here, so I had to wait for him to be done before I could even, remotely get ready for streaming. And I almost considered just, not streaming, but, I feel like if I just sit here and do nothing, because, he goes out in the mornings, I, will just be more tired than I already was, so...
Dinner with the Moodwills.
Okay, right. So last time we were going for dinner with our new friend.
Ilona Moodwill was worried about change. A gardener at heart, she understood the necessity of change, relied on it even. But there was a difference between the controlled world of her plants and this cluttered cottage in a strange town. Almost done. Nellie was a blur of activity, digging through boxes. Sorry, love, couldn't find the dishes. We'll have to make do with paper plates.
Yeah, that's
Dinner
the other
went by
thing.
without much
As long as
conversation.
I'm just streaming, the whole point of getting the laptop and trying to set it up so I could stream down here was just to make sure I kept up with it so that I wasn't taking super long periods of time off all the time. Because I have all of next week where I can stream, except I have an appointment right at stream time on Wednesday, so I'm just not even gonna bother. But then the week after that, I think I have to take, I don't remember if it's the weekend or if it's, the middle of the week I leave. But I'm going to have to take at least a few days off. Because I'll be in a hotel and I can't stream. Hotel internet is worse than the internet down here.
As she watched Beck and Luca finish up their pizza, Ilona let herself relax into the chair.
Ooh, they had pizza.
The things she cared about were still here. Nellie finally had the job of her dreams. Beck was beginning to take root. Ilona's task was simply to tend to them. She could do that.
So Luca, tell us a bit about yourself. Where do you live? Oh, I live with my grandma. Over on the other side of the river. Your grandma? Where are your parents at? Beck. Manners. It's alright. My dad passed away in an accident at the fertilizer plant 6 years back. Oh dear. My mom's been missing for a few months now. Missing?
Luca's eyes were fixed to his plate, pushing a chunk of pineapple around with his finger. Nellie was the one who eventually
Oh, right,
broke the
because she told
silence.
him his favorite pizza was pineapple. Wait, that's funny. Nellie was the one who eventually broke the silence. Luca, how did you like the pizza? Oh, it was good. Very good. Normally we'd have put more effort into dinner.
Ilona nervously gestured toward the boxes.
We aren't fully settled in, and Beck had mentioned that it's your favorite. I'm sorry, are we just skipping the part where he said his mom was missing? Beck! I'm sorry, Luca. This move has us all a little tired.
Luca wiped his face with his sleeve.
No, it's fine. So Beck said that you moved here for work?
Beck gave Luca a swift kick under the table.
That was kind of deserved, to be honest. Ow! I mean, what brought you to Beacon Pines? Oh, you were right the first time. We're here for work. Nellie won't tell you this, but she's a brilliant chemist. I don't know about brilliant, but I do love it. She's brilliant. Perennial Harvest just made her the newest lead researcher of deep engineering. She makes it sound more impressive than it is. I'm just happy that I get to make a difference in the world. Perennial Harvest is at the forefront of evolving agriculture into something more useful than sprinkling water and excrement on the ground.
Luca glanced over to Beck. She seemed to be holding her breath.
What Nellie means, Luca, is there are different ways to grow plants. Yes, some people talk to their plants and hope for the best. And some people happily leave their job to allow a loved one to pursue their dream. You swore you didn't...
Beck slammed her fist into the table. Perhaps harder than she intended.
Hey, Luca, how about some dessert? I actually have to meet my friend Rollo soon.
Luca glanced outside to gauge the time. The sky was darker than he expected, filled with ominous clouds.
Looks like there's a storm brewing. I should get going. Oh, I didn't think there was any rain in the almanac. Yeah, almanacs aren't that useful around here.
Luca wiped his mouth one last time with his napkin and started to get up.
Thank you for all the pizza. It really was good. See you at the festival, Beck. Wait up. I'll walk you home.
Surprised, Luca turned around. He knew Rollo could be prickly around new people. But Beck seemed cool. Rollo would warm up to her eventually. Probably.
Luca began to respond, but the sky answered for him as the clouds above began to rumble.
Luca began to respond, but the sky answered for him as the clouds above began to rumble with ominous thunder.
You sure we can make it home before this storm kicks off?
Luca surveyed the roiling clouds.
I'd say the odds are good. Maybe you should stay here and I'll just make a break for
At
it.
that moment, the heavens opened up, unleashing torrential rain.
The storm is so loud. Care to recalculate those odds? Hurry inside, you two, before you catch cold. Luca, Nellie will keep trying to reach your gran on the phone. In the meantime, you two hold tight. What a cute room so far. Sorry, not much to do up here. Most of my stuff is still in the boxes. Mind if I poke around? Be my guest.
Luca squinted into the eye hole of the microscope.
This looks wild. What is it? Gum. Gum?
Luca adjusted the slide with his fingers to get a better look.
I'm tracking the structural integrity of gum with increasing amounts of chewing. Ew! Chewed that one for 47 days. Oh my
Luca
god.
wiped his hand off on his sweater and gave a nervous laugh.
It's weird, I know.
Beck looked down, timidly tapping the ladder with her feet.
You think it's weird, don't you? A little. But weird can be cool. Good answer. Oh wow. Rollo and I have a radio just like this at the treehouse. Probably not exactly like this one. My mom and I tore the whole thing down to the bolts. Fitted it with some state-of-the-art vacuum tubes. She seems pretty awesome. She gets carried away sometimes. I think she feels guilty for working too much. So when she does have time for me, she showers me with high-tech overcompensation.
Luca flicked at one of the toggles.
I bet you can get all sorts of stations on this. Not out here in the boonies. You wouldn't believe the stuff I could pick up back in the city. But around here, it's all farm reports and static. Ah, shucks.
Luca bent down to examine the bouquet of wilting flowers. Judging by the odor, they were well past their prime.
Pungent.
He flipped open the attached card.
Happy trails from Coach Walker and all the Fairview Condors. Boy, you weren't kidding about poking around, huh? Oh, sorry, was this from your old school? The most recent one, yeah. Some schools gave me going away cards. Some did flowers. When they're really trying to feel good about themselves, they do both. So you've moved a lot. Yeah, that's the thing with having a brilliant parent. There's always a better job somewhere else. These flowers would last longer if you put them in some water. That's the sort of thing I would do if I cared. Well, you cared enough to keep them is all. Luca, can I ask you something? Of course. Dang, didn't that hurt? I'll be honest, that hurt more than I expected. Well, at least you look cool doing it.
Beck took a moment to watch the rivulets of water running down the window.
Do you ever feel alone? You know what I was just thinking about this game? It's actually not a bad thing that we don't have the model. Because I don't know where I would put the model for, like, most of these scenes where it has both characters up. Like, even when people are around. Well, Rollo can be pretty absent-minded sometimes. I'm serious. Does it ever feel like your family doesn't care what you want? It didn't used to feel that way. I know Gran loves me, but sometimes when she looks at me, it's like she's looking at... Yeah, so I'd have to use, like, the whole model instead of doing, like, half model. A problem?
Luca took a deep breath, exhaling slowly.
I know the feeling. How do you deal with that? I guess I haven't yet. But one thing my dad told me when I was little, don't hold a grudge, especially against yourself. If you try to hold it in, all in, you're gonna pop. So then what do you do when you don't know what to do? Dad never got to that part. Something I figured out on my own, though. You gotta do something. Anything. Here. What are you doing? I don't know, something. We're gonna register our complaints with the store. Listen here, you miserable universe. Stop jerking me around. I just want things to go back the way they were. Everyone tells me it's gonna be alright. That things are gonna change.
Luca let out a feral scream that echoed into the night.
Eclairs, chocolate, Every time something changes, everything gets worse. Screw this town. Whoa. Let me try. Moving sucks. I hate it. I hate that I hate it. Why can't I just deal with it and be happy for my mom? Why can't we just stay somewhere? And then, brah.
Her voice dropped to a trembling whisper.
I always feel bad when I read, like, yelling sounds because I physically can't yell. Like, it's so hard. Especially on cue. Her voice dropped to a trembling whisper. I just want to be a normal kid.
Beck brushed off her shirt and straightened up.
There. Wow, I actually feel a little better.
As abruptly as it began, the storm abated.
Thanks, I needed that. Me too. I should head out before the rain starts up again. Sure, I'll walk you out. See you and Rollo at the festival? Sounds good. Luca, don't let the universe jerk you around.
Beck gave Luca a light thump on the arm before heading in. Chapter 5. Friendly Feud. The air was heavy with the hard rain's residue. The smell of wet things. Despite his dreary surroundings, Luca felt at peace. He'd never shared those details about his dad with anyone. Not even Rollo. But it's not like this changed anything. Rollo was still his best friend. Adding Beck to the group would help balance things out. Everything's better in threes. This is what Luca told himself as he headed to the treehouse.
I feel like Rollo is not gonna... let me look. Yeah, I am dropping some frames. It must be my connection. There's nothing downloading. My internet's been really slow today. Let me see. 7%. Oh, it's still dropping frames. Yeah, I can see it's like my connection. I'm just like watching to see if it stops. Nope, it's doing it again. How bad is it? Like, is it just keep continuing and hope it doesn't get worse kind of bad? Or is it like... Yeah, it's fair. I'm looking at it. I can see it now. I had to tab back into OBS to see. Catch up with Rollo at the treehouse. It's so unfortunate. I wonder if my dad has, like, the TV on in the other room. That could also be affecting it. Sometimes he leaves it on. Hey, Don, tracking down a lead. You bet. I heard a juicy new rumor. Turns out when Sharper Valentine died, he left behind a peculiar last will and testament. Peculiar how? He didn't just give his kids an inheritance, there were conditions. Like what? The document stipulated that Eris had to take on a child as her ward. A kid our age who just showed up to town one night with a lawyer. Solomon. Bingo! So Eris was forced to take care of him? Yep, or she would have lost everything. Why would Sharper care so much about some random kid? Rumor has it old Sharper sowed some wild oats. That explains the way Eris treats him. Poor Solomon. How did you find all this out? A good reporter never reveals her source, Luca. Dude, I absolutely adore her. She might actually be my favorite character in this whole thing. She's so cute. I didn't tweet it out, so I figured it would more just be like a stream for the regulars kind of deal. Till we get whatever fixed to the best of our abilities. He met his old friend's eyes, and was greeted with nothing but ice-cold anger. Heavens, this is no time for fractured friendships. Wait, I thought that was the way to the treehouse. Dude, I totally forget how to get there. Hang on. Excuse me, what are you doing? Just locking up for the night, sir. Oh, wonderful. I can only assume this means all festival preparations have been completed ahead of schedule. Not exactly, sir. The storm set us back a bit, and it's getting late, so we all decided to... You all decided? I hate this guy. Yes, sir. I was unaware that your job involved deciding things. We are all here at Perennial Harvest because we believe in creating a better future, yes? Yes, sir, very much, sir. Do you want to be the one to tell this town that we failed them? No. Then that we gave up because there was a little rainstorm and we all got sleepy? Of course not, sir. Good, then it's decided. Yes, sir, we'll work till the task is done. See that you do. Our harvest awaits. That's so sus. He's a hyena, though. I feel like that's a good, like, characterization of a sus character. Okay, so that just says the same thing. Rolo, are you still up there? Oh, I hate that sound. I'm sorry, Rolo isn't accepting visitors at the moment. Come back never.
Luca had only ever heard him speak in this stiff yet gentle tone a few times, and it always meant one thing.
You're upset. Oh, what makes you say that? Maybe because my best friend abandoned me for no reason? I didn't abandon you. I'm just a little late.
Rolo scoffed.
The rain held me up. Liar! You weren't even home. What? The storm got bad and I got worried. So I went looking for you. Imagine my surprise when I made it to your house. And you weren't there. I hadn't made it back yet. I'm not a fool, Luca. It doesn't take all day to deliver some jam. No, that storm rolled in out of nowhere. And I got stuck after dinner at Beck's
Luca stumbled on his words, knowing he'd said too much.
Beck? Dinner? What the heck is a Beck? She's a new kid in town. She's actually kind of cool. You'd like her. She needed help convincing her parents that she'd made new friends. New friends? I spent all day waiting for you. And you were off making new friends? It's not like that, Rolo. You know, while I was waiting, I made some upgrades to mission control. It was going to be a surprise. But you took so long, the storm knocked it all down. Just like you knocked down our friendship. What does that even mean?
Luca became instinctively angry in response.
This is both sad and ridiculous.
Both boys were now shouting across the distance.
It means you're a bad friend. You don't care about me. Of course I care, you ass. I knew I'd get in trouble waiting so late for you, but I kept my word, 'cause that's what friends do. Oh wow, what a noble sacrifice you made. Easy for you to say. Your gran doesn't even care. You can stay out as long as you want, and you wouldn't even get in trouble. Seriously? You're acting like I chose this. If that's what you think, then maybe you're the bad friend.
Rollo's tone changed to a calm, yet more intense anger.
Maybe Pa is right. Storms bring more than water. This one brought out the real Luca. Stop quoting your Pa's nonsense like it means anything. Yeah, well, at least my Pa is still around.
The words hung in the
fucked.
cold night air.
That's so messed up.
Rollo's stomach dropped, knowing he'd crossed a line. But it was too late.
Luca, Good night, Rollo. Dang it. He better go grovel now.
Luca dug through his old stuff, not even sure what he was looking for.
Rollo, what a jerk. Call me a bad friend? Ooh, I'm Rollo. Look at me and my amazing family. I guess I'm just never supposed to make new friends. Weep. Luca?
Gran cooed gently from the hallway.
You slept straight through breakfast. Luca, are you alright? I'm fine. Just don't feel like getting up yet. Okay, I'll leave this oatmeal by the door. I've got to run out and take care of some things. Okay. I'll be back later to check in. Sure.
Luca just wanted to be alone. He waited to hear the sound of the front door closing.
Sorry if you heard that. It's this stupid chair. It has these, like, stupid armrests that, like, won't stay. They, like, just make the most awful sound. I hate this chair. Luckily, it's not my chair. All I was trying to do was open my drink. If Rollo thinks I'm still going to the festival with him, he can shove it. I bet Rollo's still gonna go to the festival. He's gonna be miserable. I love how we're, like, venting our frustrations by kicking a soccer ball around. Okay.
Luca dozed off again.
Luca? I see you didn't eat your oatmeal. Wasn't hungry. Well, just in case you get hungry, I'll leave a sandwich here too. Thanks. Rollo came by. What did he say? He wanted to talk to you. What did you say? I told him you weren't feeling well. Good. So your plan is to just sit in your room all day? Pretty much. Well, I need to pop away again for a minute. If you decide to end your pity party and go outside, I think it'd do you some good. Noted.
Luca still couldn't bring himself to go out. Besides, if he ran into Rollo, he'd have to actually confront the situation.
There's never anything interesting at the festival anyway.
The Adventures of Hank Atomic.
The complete first volume.
Luca carefully opened the cover and began to read. Rollo had received it for his birthday. A special hardcover edition with behind-the-scenes commentary and bonus art. Rollo cherished it, but asked that Luca keep it at his house. Luca wasn't sure if it was because Rollo didn't trust himself with it, didn't trust his sister around it, or just wanted an excuse to come hang out at Luca's more often. Whatever the reason, Luca didn't mind. But it had stayed right there where Rollo had stashed it ever since. Now, at the foot of his bed, Luca lost himself in the pages. He'd read it all before, but at this moment, it somehow felt sentimental. He was well into issue number 5 when he heard soft footsteps from the hallway.
Luca, another little friend came to see you. A girl named Beck Modell. She said you met yesterday? What did she say? Is she here? She was just dropping by. I told her you weren't taking visitors today. Oh, she seems nice. Yeah. You had a fight with Rollo, didn't you? Can I come in? Maybe later. Alright then. I'll leave dinner on the kitchen table, in case you want a bite before bedtime.
Without realizing it, Luca had pouted away the entire afternoon. He once again felt the weight of it all, and allowed his weary eyes to close. Luca stood in a vast black expanse. He looked up at his father standing beside him. Walt was working a straw at the bottom of a fountain glass, trying to collect the last bits of milkshake. Dad, where are we? Taking a final loud gurgling sip, his father peered up from the glass. He jangled the straw playfully with a warm smile, then lifted the empty glass as if to point into the darkness. The source. Luca's eyes followed his father's gesture. In an instant, he was sitting in front of a blazing campfire. Across from him sat a large figure in a yellow hazmat suit. The figure's voice was a scratchy echo. Well, if it isn't the man of the hour. Make yourself comfortable. Luca held his shivering hands over the flame to warm himself. It doesn't work that way here.
Is this a nightmare?
Their yellow-gloved hand pointed to the base of the flame. It's a cold flame, see? Luca peered at the base of the fire. It wasn't wood that was burning. It was Beacon Pines itself. Tiny buildings, freezing and crumbling as they were consumed by flame. Luca could see small shadows moving in the burning city. People. Luca leapt to his feet. We've got to help them! The figure gave a dismissive wave of their hand. Why waste energy helping people who can't even help themselves? The figure bent down to examine the panicked crowd as they desperately tried to stop the flames. They only care about what's right in front of them. Not like us. Luca's voice was a trembling whisper. Us? The figure slowly stood up, grabbing its helmet with both hands. With a jolt and a twist, the suit emitted a gasp. A cloud of torpid mist escaped, slowly revealing the face within. Luca's own face looked back at him.
Ooh, that's scary.
Older, worn, distant. The sensation was oddly familiar, as if he'd caught his own reflection by surprise in the mirror. The doppelganger smiled. I tried to help once. He gestured towards his face. And all it got me was this. Lucas staggered back. You aren't me. Luca felt a hand catch his shoulder. His father was there again, beside him. Every choice sets us on a path. This is the end of one of your paths, son. Luca watched his older self shake its head ruefully, its face twisting into a cruel grin. Welp, Dad, if you wanted him to see this, far be it from me to disappoint. Luca watched in shock as the figure took a confident step forward and plunged into the flames. In a flash of cold light, he was gone. What does all of this mean? Luca felt a reassuring squeeze on his shoulder. Just remember, Why we choose matters just as much as what we choose.
Are we
Luca
about to
woke
get an
up
end?
to see a hazy figure at the foot of his bed, silhouetted in the morning sun.
Mom? No, dear. It's only Gran.
Luca rubbed his eyes. The kind, concerned face of his Gran came into focus.
How are you feeling? Why is my Discord not on streamer mode? Hello? Oh my god, shut up, please. Okay. I don't know why it didn't go into streamer mode. Sorry, yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. Yeah, it's never usually me because I always have it on streamer mode, but it didn't, like, activate this time for some reason. Fine. Anything you want to talk about? I don't feel like talking. That's just as well. How about you sit there and listen a bit? Whatever you and Rollo fought about doesn't matter. But he...
Gran silenced Luca with a gentle pat on the leg.
Fights between friends happen. What was said doesn't matter. The important thing is that it's not the last thing you ever say to each other. But he said stuff about Dad. Well, do you think he meant it? No. He was just mad. And did you mean any of the things you said to him? No. Good. One must appreciate friends in their best moments and accept them in their worst. Accept. Now get your little butt out of bed. The festival's today. You don't want to miss that, do you? I guess not. Seems like a good opportunity to make amends with Rollo, doesn't it?
Luca gave a reluctant nod.
So buy him a corn dog and apologize. But he's the one that... What did I just say? Buy him a corn dog. That's a good boy. Everything's better with corn dogs. I need to get going now. Got some last-minute festival business to take care of. I'll come find you at the fountain a little after lunch. All right. I love you, Luca. Love you too. Aw, that was such
Luca
a
took a
sweet,
deep breath.
like, interaction with Gran. Okay.
Chapter 6.
Okay, we made it to chapter 6. I thought we were definitely getting an end with that dream.
Through thick and thin. Despite Luca's bitterness, Gran was right. He needed to hash things out with Rollo. A big fight changes the nature of a friendship. Whether, in the end, it is for the better or for the worse, all comes down to understanding. If one is not careful, the same familiarity that builds the strongest of bonds can become the wrecking ball that shatters them. Luca emerged from seclusion, taking in the crisp festival air. But the events of the day weren't on his mind. He had to find Rollo.
Let's go buy Rollo a corn dog. There you are. Luca, Rollo wanted me to tell you something. What is it?
Roxy rolled her eyes, shaking her head.
Sigh. A space adventure through you needn't buy it. If ye be brave, go somewhere quiet. Roxy, I don't... It's a riddle, Luca. My goofy little brother wants you to find him.
Luca looked down and kicked at the dirt.
Look, I know you two had a fight. The only thing more annoying than my little brother is my little brother without his best friend. So I'm doing him this one favor. Now I need one favor from you. Whatever it is that went down between you two, squash it. Well, that was really nice of her, even though she's like, I didn't do it.
The road leading to Beacon Pines was long, a sort of
Unique New York, unique New York. Huh? Oh, don't mind me. Just warming up for my big ceremony speech.
Mr. Kerr pointed to his grinning mouth.
Gotta limber up the old gab box. You nervous? Oh, heavens no. We'll break a leg. Give me the gift. Alright, I couldn't read that fast enough. How goes the beetle hunt? Pretty rotten. I haven't seen so much as an exuve. And it's not just the beetles. This morning I couldn't find any critters at all. It's like everything that buzzes or skitters just packed up and left. I'm sure they're out there somewhere. Maybe all the commotion at the festival just spooked them. Yeah, maybe that's it. Welcome to our festival. Don't forget to come back later for Mr. Kerr's speech. And the Perennial Harvest Festival sign reveal. You don't want to miss it. I don't know who Perennial Harvest thinks they're impressing with this ridiculous festival. Totally. The town's still falling apart. The weather's still cruddy. And this season's harvest looks like it's going to be worse than last year's. You said it. No amount of corporate pandering is going to change any of that. Exactly. But the lemonade at the drink stand over there does look pretty tasty. Fits. I'm still gonna be mad at them. I'd just rather be mad while sipping some delicious lemonade is all. That's so true.
Jeff was staring into the distance with a wistful look.
Hey Jeff, everything alright? Huh? Yeah, everything's fine. I mean, used to be fine. Just ain't right these days, you know? I really do, actually.
Jeff turned to Luca with a furrowed brow, then gave an understanding nod.
You do, don't you?
For a moment, the two now shared that same wistful gaze.
Haha, every single time. Yup. Wait for it. Unexplained sound once again noted. Like clockwork. What a bunch of drones. Haha. A most welcoming of welcomes. Would you like to share your thoughts? We always strive to improve. Nope. I was gonna say, absolutely not. This is the first time I've seen this many smiling faces since the fowl harvest. I had my doubts about Perennial Harvest, but I must admit they do put on a nice party. I always forget to check up here. Hey, Luca. How's Griffin doing? What? Oh, nothing.
Sorry, all became flesh.
Just pretend I didn't say anything. Excuse me? What do you mean? Piper, you're actually taking a break from studying? I wanted to see what the festival, what all the festival fuss is about. But I can't help but notice you still brought your backpack full of books. Luca, backpacks can carry a lot more than just books. True. So what you got in there? Books. I was able to return the Perennial Harvest safety suit you borrowed. I don't think anyone noticed. Good. Now, will you tell me what you needed it for? It was a favor for an enemy of my enemy. This isn't going to harm Mr. Kerr, is it? All you need to know is that it's for the good of the family. Oh god. The library, somewhere quiet. Wait, I want to check all the other places first. I didn't even think about the library yet. Luca, did you know? Thank you. That Beacon Pines is actually unincorporated? A lot of people don't know that. Well, wow, yeah, I didn't know. What's that mean? It means most public works are handled internally. We do all the pipelines. The water treatment? Building regulations? That's great. Census taking? Slowly backing up. Emergency services? Hey, Luca. So you're done at the library? Huh? Oh, nothing.
Griffin looked away suspiciously.
Nothing at all. Oh, I see now. Okay. So what I'm thinking is that she's, like, gonna... Sharper Valentine is celebration of excellence.
We all know Beacon Pines is a great town. What you may not know is great towns grow from mighty roots.
She's gonna sabotage the Harvest Festival or whatever.
Without telling the story
because
of one Sharper
she didn't get the
Valentine.
attention for the museum.
Young Sharper's keen intellect and strong moral fiber led to a grand vision. A vision of a community dedicated to a better tomorrow. In his own words, a better tomorrow is within our grasp, but it requires a singular mind to harness it. Lucky for us, he decided to grow that vision here, in Beacon Pines. And how does one grow a better tomorrow? With fertilizer, of course. Valentine's Fertilizer Company became the lifeblood of a town yearning for purpose. But then tragedy struck, a scientific experiment gone wrong. An accident which took Sharper away from us far too soon. To this day, we struggle to pick up the pieces. But one foul harvest isn't enough to stop the people of Beacon Pines.
So that's what the foul harvest is.
Valentine lives on. It lives in the hearts of everyone with a dream for a better tomorrow. Together, we will follow his example and grow a bountiful future. Paid for by the Valentine family and the Valentine Fertilizer Company Remembrance Fund.
That's a good little detail. That was unhelpful. It might not have been helpful for you, Luca, but it was helpful for me. Now I understand the... I've got a question for you. What do you think this whole festival is for? The way I figure it, Perennial Harvest is trying to win over the town. Like a bribe, but with balloons. Cynical. I like where your head's at. That's what I assumed at first, too, until I eavesdropped on a couple of gossipy clipboards. What if I told you that this whole thing is really a special shindig for a super secret guest of honor? A special guest? Who? I haven't dug that deep yet, but whoever it is, PH thinks they're a big deal. Don always has, like, the information. Alright, let's go to the library now. Hey, Luca.
Kato's eyes lit with excitement.
I've been expecting you. Bravo on deciphering the first riddle. It could be. Maybe it is Bex. The first... Oh, you didn't think that was all, did you? Rolo does go all out, doesn't he?
Kato straightened up and cleared his throat as if preparing to sing.
Ahem. On planet Farpool, you may take issue. When the fifth king dies, you'll need a tissue.
Kato stared at Luca eagerly.
Get it? Want me to tell you? No, it's okay. Let me figure it out. Alright, when you find it, bring it here to be verified. And if you decide you want a hint, the offer still stands. Hi, Jace. Still working through the newest Hank Atomic? You know it. Some fascinating canon toward the end. Did you know? Oh god, more spoilers. Hank Atomic Shrink Array doesn't technically shrink stuff. It uses inverse quantum particle decay to literally grow the entire universe around an object, leaving that object unaltered. So it just looks shrunk compared to everything else? Bingo. That's wild. But Jace, no spoilers, please. Oh right, sorry.
Luca grabbed the Modern Science of Atomic Radiation from the shelf.
Oh, I didn't... Or just grab a different one.
Luca grabbed The Adventures of Hank Atomic, issue number 5, from the shelf.
This is the right answer. Ah, you found
Kato
it.
removed his book from the desk and replaced it with Luca's, turning on the lamp. As he slid the book under the purple light, 2 words glowed. The Adventures of Hank Atomic, Issue 5. Luca clicked his tongue with recognition.
Rollo's cipher pen. He used to write secret messages everywhere with that, and only I had the special flashlight needed to reveal it. But I lost it. Well, apparently he traded Jeff for this purple light bulb. Parted with his entire Halloween candy stash. Damn, that's a big deal. Oh, Rollo. Now let's see here.
Kato began flipping through the pages, stopping when he hit a glowing word.
Get away was such a grift.
He continued flipping.
Only found in Grub. Card.
Reaching the end of the book, Kato looked up.
That's it. Grift in Grub cart. Grift in Griffin. Griffin's grub cart. He wants me to go to Griffin's snack stand. Ah, brilliant. I guess you're off then. Good luck on the rest of the scavenger hunt. Thanks, Kato. We were just there. Hey, Griffin. Did Rollo come?
Before Luca could finish his sentence, Griffin handed him a corn dog.
Oh, that's it? Bought and paid for. Enjoy. I thought there was supposed to be a riddle or something.
Luca shrugged, taking a sizable bite out of the corn dog.
Yuck. It's cold. Oh yeah, that's been sitting here for a while. Rollo wanted me to be sure to give you that one specifically. Well, that's just...
Luca tongued at his cheeks, feeling something rough between his teeth. He reached into his mouth and pulled out a slip of paper.
Ew. Oh, come on.
He shook off the bits of corn dog to read the slip.
A pickup when you need some pep. Near the fountain up the steps.
Luca finished off the remainder of the corn dog.
Sigh, this is getting to be a whole thing. As if it wasn't a whole thing, like, 2 steps ago. But we were supposed to be the one buying a corn dog for Rollo. There you are, Luca. There's no way I'm actually doing this. It's way below my pay grade. Oh, come on, you big stiff. Let the kids have some fun. Fine. But Rollo owes me one.
Lumi waved his hands around sarcastically as he began.
What takes flight but has no wings? Your final task a friendship brings. See, that wasn't so hard. Hard. Ugh, I feel cheapened somehow. I think it's sweet. Good luck, Luca. Wait, what does this one say? Oops, I did not want to do that. What takes flight but has no wings, your final task of friendship brings. Ain't moving. I thought maybe it was a balloon. Did you hear after Mr. Carroll gives his big speech, they're gonna have the first annual biggest catch competition. As long as a boot qualifies as a catch, I'm a shoo-in. Good luck.
Luca stuck a toy stretchy hand onto the hook. Those things always get dirty anyway.
There's an achievement for getting all the fish. Should we give it to Mom? She likes jewelry. That's a sweet thought, Buckaroo. But I'm not sure she'd fully appreciate a pawn bracelet. Isn't that like Mom's whole thing, that they appreciate anything no matter
finger on the line.
how their kids figured it out
The best
or found
stuff
it?
is at the bottom of the pond.
I was definitely not paying attention.
Luca placed it sometime.
Malice 80 proof whiskey. A hard liquor for a hard man. Best leave that be. Takes a real piece of work to leave something like that lying around. I thought it was like a message in a bottle. It almost looked like it had like
Luca wrapped a twig of thyme around
paper
the
in
hook.
it.
Some fish have refined taste.
Hopefully this is the last one for the achievement. Property of Sharper Valentine. Figures. If he had his way, property of Sharper Valentine would be written on everything in this town. Should we give it back to him? He may not even want it back. The man's got a contentious relationship with time. We'll keep it here in case he ever wants to pick it up. Okay, so that's definitely not all of them. But it's all the ones we have.
Luca, some.
Mission control. Authorized personnel only. I'm just seeing if the item is in here. Doesn't seem like it is. Oh wow, we can visit the grave again. I forgot that's what was this way. This is the first one I am actually stumped on. Because I thought maybe a balloon. Because balloons can fly, but they don't have wings. Just checking everywhere real quick. I feel like I'm going crazy. Oh. How did I I walked past Rolo this whole time? Oh my god. Hey. Did you find the comic book? Yep. And you got the corn dog? Yeah. Well then, I know it doesn't make up for what I said, but here, you've earned this.
Rolo sheepishly handed Luca the balloons.
I knew it was balloons. I just walked past Rolo like 10 times, apparently. Flight. Thanks. You didn't have to go to all this trouble. I'm sorry I got so mad. Dang it, you were supposed to let me apologize first. Oh, sorry. Now you've apologized twice before me. Just let me do this. Luca, I'm really sorry. With everything that's happened with your mom and all, I've always wanted to be there for you. Be a good friend, you know? When you said you were hanging out with someone else, I kind of freaked out. Rolo. Still my turn. I felt like if you needed some new friend to help you, it meant that I wasn't good enough. But that was selfish and wrong. I was wrong. I'm so sorry, Luca. Okay, apology over. You can talk now.
Luca threw himself at Rolo, hugging him as tightly as he could.
That's so cute. Rolo, I don't deserve you. I don't deserve you either. That's why we deserve each other. So, what else do you want to do today? We could snoop around and try to find some info about your mom. Snoop where? We could probably sneak into Perennial Harvest HQ while everyone's at the festival. Aren't you curious about all the stuff those clipboards write down? What if we get caught? I think I've had enough excitement for 1 week. Let's just make the rest of the day about us. Really? Yeah, the rest of the world can wait one more day. You know, I have been wanting to get some work done on the MCDC at Mission Control. The aim is a bit unpredictable. That sounds perfect. Cute, we get to keep the balloons. I was hoping if I jumped it would like launch us. Wait, that's the wrong way. This way. Oh, I almost forgot. I ran into your gran this morning. She asked me to give you this.
Rolo handed Luca an unopened letter.
Rolo handed Luca an unopened letter. I'll wait for you inside if you want to read it now. A letter?
Luca, some things are going to happen that might be difficult for you to understand. If I am honest, I hardly understand them myself. But whatever happens, I need you to know that I love you. None of this is fair to you. You have already lost so much. We both have. I wish there was a simpler way forward. But if there is, I haven't thought of it. God knows I've tried. Everything I've done. I did for you. I hope someday you can accept that. Love, Gran.
I love you too, Gran.
Luca folded the paper into his pocket and headed up the ladder.
This is about to be all sorts of bad, I can guarantee you. What's up with the letter? Anything you want to talk about? Maybe later. Sure, whenever you want. Aw, they tied the balloons to the... whatever that is in the corner. You know, you really didn't have to go to all that trouble just to apologize. I know, but we've been looking forward to the festival for weeks. After I ruined everything with my big mouth, this was the best way to make sure you still had a good time without me. Rolo?
Luca was at a loss for words, but that was fine. Words aren't always necessary.
The festival seemed nice. Was it nice? We can still go. Nah, this is fine. Well, there's always next year.
Sadly, this was untrue. A distant rumble shook the treehouse.
Huh? What was that? Aw, man, we missed the fireworks?
It was not fireworks. It was something the boys couldn't possibly comprehend. Something as old and cruel as time itself.
Excuse me? The big chill.
A shockwave of cold tore through the room. A bitter, unfathomable chill. Before they could react, it encased them in ice. Two boys, reunited by friendship, only to be cruelly separated by a malevolence beyond reason. And so, our story ends on this melancholy scene. In a silent treehouse turned statuary, in a town brought low by its secrets, sits a pair of friends, alone, together, for the rest of time. The end. No, that can't be the ending. It simply can't. I won't accept it, and I hope you won't either. There are more endings, more possibilities. I can feel it. We are just going to have to sort through them all until we find the one that fits.
Okay, let's go through. Okay, so we did all these, all these. Okay, flight.
Luca drew himself up
So this is
and
where
decided to take the only option they had left.
Rolla was
Flight.
captured.
He squinted down the barrel of the mission control defense cannon, aiming it through an opening in the dense tree branches. He looked up with surprise as it struck true and taut.
Wow, I can't believe that worked. Hey, Mr. Kerr. We'd love to hear your thoughts, but I'm afraid we have places to be. Come on, Iggy. See ya, jerks. Sigh, fine. We know where that leads them. This way we'll take the tunnel. Blech. Hi, Cake. This way we'll take the tunnel.
Luca and Iggy winced as they sprinted through the thicket. The branches clawed at them, reluctant to give passage. After what felt like a marathon, Luca stopped in his tracks as they reached the clearing. What the? That was all he was able to say before Iggy slammed into his back. The boys tumbled down a steep decline and crashed with a wheezing thud on a surface as hard as ice. In fact, it was ice. Chapter 5.
Okay, we hit chapter 5 with this route.
Signs. They stood silently, catching their breath. The sky was like sapphire. With each breath, a plume of steam escaped from Luca's lungs. Let's keep moving. Luca pulled Iggy to his feet as they gazed across a snowy terrain.
That was actually pretty badass. Uh-huh. I think we lost him. Are we up in the mountains? I don't think so. If anything, we went downhill. Then what's up with the Winter Wonderland? All I know is there's no going back the way we came. Let's see if we can get our bearings. Follow me. Find a way home. What's the readout? Sitting just above 258 Kelvin. That's down a bit from last time. Should we report this to Mr. Kerr? Meh, still within safe ranges. It may be spreading, but it's under control for now. Even a small nudge in the equilibrium could cause a cascade. Dude, relax. Just a few more sites to hit before we can punch out. Let's get this over with. What's all this? Hard to say with all this snow. I think it's a town sign. I can almost make out the letters under there. What town could this even be? There couldn't be another town this deep into Weepwood. I'm looking at evidence to the contrary. Let's figure out what we're dealing with here. Step 1, snow's gotta go. I'll see what I can do.
boys stared in disbelief at the sign that now clearly read, "Welcome to Beacon Pines."
This doesn't make any sense. We're in Beacon Pines? How's that possible? We ran away from town. How did we get back here? I guess we got turned around. Where did all this snow come from? Well, it's been colder than normal lately. That's a pretty big difference between sweater weather and this Arctic hellscape. The puddle we fought at before, it was cold too. Maybe all of it leads to one source. You think it's related? What the hell is going on? We're gonna get you some answers. Let's keep moving. Luca, are you there?
Luca had almost forgotten the walkie-talkie he was carrying.
It's that bozo Kerr. I hope nothing bad has happened to you out in those woods.
Luca looked at Iggy with hesitation.
No need to be rude.
With a resigned sigh, Luca responded.
It seems like the only dangerous thing in the woods is you. He speaks, the young man of the hour. Now, how in tarnation did you end up with one of our radios? Just lucky, I guess. Boy, howdy, you Van Horns are full of surprises, aren't you? You knew my parents? I never had the honor of meeting your father, but your mom sure was a handful.
Luca winced, shoving the walkie-talkie back into his pocket.
We gotta keep moving. This stuff look familiar to you? It looks like the barrel near the puddle I, shoved me into, yeah. It's all frozen.
Looking down at the frozen stream, Luca could faintly see a school of minnows encased in the ice.
Whatever happened here, it happened fast. The fish didn't even have time to run. Or, swim run.
The crunching of footsteps trailing Luca went hush. He looked back to see Iggy's face twisted with confusion.
Everyone's gone. What? There's nothing here but more snow. There must be I cannot read today. There must be an explanation for all of this. We have to keep looking. You can look all you want. I quit. Iggy, we have to keep going. You don't get it, do you? This isn't one of your pathetic Hank Atomic stories. We aren't going to save the day. We aren't even going to save ourselves. My face is mangled. This town is destroyed. And everyone we've ever known is gone. We don't know that. You can't just quit. Do whatever you want. I'm done. Iggy, it's gonna be okay.
Luca peered upward at the darkening sky. He let out a long, foggy breath. Faintly, Iggy began to cry.
Oh no.
Seeing Iggy in such a pathetic state gave Luca a sense of compassion, and more than a little guilt.
It is getting pretty late, I think. Probably not a great idea to stumble around in the dark anyway.
Luca allowed himself to collapse next to Iggy.
They've got to be cold. There's no way they don't freeze to death just doing this. Let's just rest for a bit.
The boys huddled together for warmth and comfort. If not for exhaustion, their minds would be racing, trying to make sense of the events of the day. As it was, all they had energy for was to sit in silence, numb.
The way the snow covered everything over, it's kind of calming. Yeah. I haven't had time to say it, but thanks. Huh? For getting us away from those creeps. I sort of froze up back there. Iggy, I should be the one apologizing. This all happened because I lost my temper. Nah, that's bull hockey. First of all, you didn't know what that gunk would do. You didn't, right? Of course not. And second, stop with this baloney about losing your temper. But I did lose my temper.
Iggy motioned sarcastically to his half-deformed face.
Obviously. But that's exactly what you should have done. Huh? I was being a horse's ass. You were supposed to be a horse's ass in response. That's how it works. Iggy, I'm having a hard time following. You wanted me to fight you? Of course. Geez, you goody-goody types take forever to understand this very basic point. Why would you go around saying cruel things trying to get into fights?
Iggy shrugged.
It's something to do. You're an asshole because you're bored? Sometimes I just feel empty. You wouldn't understand. You and Rolo are always having a blast together, laughing and calling that dinky little treehouse mission control.
Iggy now wept openly.
Perfect little Luca Van Horn, with his perfect little life. My life is not perfect. Everybody in town likes you. Not everybody. Hell, that new girl hasn't even unpacked yet, and even she already likes you. Maybe because he's nice. You have Tish.
He wiped his nose with a sleeve.
I love Tish. Tish is great. But she ain't exactly the world's greatest conversationalist, you know?
Luca gave a warm chuckle.
That is kind of funny. I get that impression.
Iggy cleared his throat as he wiped his eyes.
Huh. It must be raining out here. Definitely.
Iggy arched into a wide yawn.
We should probably try to get some sleep. Out in the snow, in the cold? Yeah. Let's lay low for now. Tomorrow we'll get to the bottom of all this.
Luca's eyelids began to slowly drift shut.
Luca? Yeah? I always did want to see the inside of your dinky little treehouse. What do you think? Not bad. I'll give you the full tour when we get back. You know what?
That's all Luca could whisper before succumbing to sleep. Iggy snuggled in some more.
When it comes to worst days of my entire life, this one wasn't half bad. That's very sweet.
The house smelled of warm bread. Luca was playing with toy blocks on the living room rug. He looked up to see his parents on the couch. His mother held his father's head in her lap. She idly stroked his hair while humming a song. A voice behind Luca spoke. "This is how you remember them, huh?" Luca turned to see his own face. The doppelganger from his dreams, still clad in a yellow hazmat suit, still carrying a look of disdain
The
behind
doppelganger's
empty
back.
eyes. Aww, look at this perfectly cozy scene. You know it wasn't really like this. The figure picked up a toy block and inspected it. It's amazing the facades that one can build given the right materials. Not that I blame us. These are a child's memories, all warm and fuzzy. You don't remember, do you? Lucas snatched the block from the figure's yellow-gloved hand. Remember what? The doppelganger pointed to the couch. The last day we saw him alive. The day he chose to abandon us. Luca turned to look at his father, still lounging on the couch. That's not true. He didn't abandon us. The doppelganger waved his hand dismissively. Everything is true here. It's just a matter of what we choose to see. Well, let me show you. The world flickered and
Or
pulsed. Luca was sitting next to his bed,
Stop
listening to
ruining
his heartbeat with one of his
innocence.
dad's stethoscopes.
He's just a baby.
The doppelganger limped into the room. Now, we both know that's not how this went. He grabbed Luca's hand and guided the stethoscope to the floor. Luca heard muffled shouting, brought close by the stethoscope. It was his parents, fighting. Do you remember what we did next? Luca gave a slow nod and crept down the hall to peek through the banister. He could see the outline of his mother at the bottom of the stairs. Damn it, Walt. We can't afford to get involved in this. She was scared. His father stepped forward. What am I supposed to do? Just watch? There's a sickness in this town, and we both know who's behind it. I swore an oath to help people. I won't turn my back on them. Luca's mother grabbed Walt. She was crying, pleading. I can't lose you.
So they weren't like fighting for like bad reasons. They were fighting because he wanted to help. And she didn't want him to get hurt in the process.
Walt calmly removed Eleanor's hand from his shoulder.
Is that the first time we learned her name?
What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. I could never live with myself if I let Sharper get away with this. Eleanor raised her voice. Spare me your bullshit platitudes. What about our son? Luca flinched, dropping the stethoscope down the stairs. Walt turned with a panicked smile. Luca, is that you, buddy? With tears in his eyes, Luca descended the stairs.
I should never have had to hear that.
Mom? Dad?
No
What's
wonder
going
he,
on?
pushed it out of his, memories.
Walt dropped to a knee to meet Luca eye to eye. Nothing, buckaroo. Your mom and I just got a little overexcited is all. Luca placed the stethoscope against his father's chest. His heart was racing. It sounded like you were going somewhere? Walt gently removed the device from Luca's ears. Listen to me, Luca. I have some business to take care of. I'll be back in time to tuck you in. Luca hugged his father tightly. Promise? Walt stood up
No,
and
that's
walked
so
to the door.
sad. He promised him he'd
He
be
glanced
back.
over his shoulder. I promise. With a wink and a grin, he put on his hat and strode out into the evening sun.
He promised him he'd be back and then he died.
A figure approached soundlessly from the foggy snowfall. It stood above them, lingering in contemplation. Slowly raising one hand above Iggy, it snapped out 2 brisk raps on his head. From a deep slumber, Iggy sprang up defensively.
Get your hands off me.
Whether it was the calming presence or the recognition that he was not in danger, Iggy felt his clenched fists lower.
Just what do you think you're doing?
Luca looked up, gradually remembering his whereabouts. The figure exhaled a cloud of warm vapor.
You two certainly have caused a lot of commotion. What's that supposed to mean? Take it easy, Iggy. We were asleep minding our own business. You're the one running around knocking on people's heads. I'm sorry if I hurt you, Iggy. You didn't hurt nobody. Anybody. Huh? Oh, I see. You think you're better than me, you...
When it came to complete strangers, Iggy had trouble cobbling together an insult.
You big-hatted, scarfy-necked furball. Okay, let's lower the temperature a bit here. Interesting choice of words. I was thinking the same thing, but I wasn't gonna say it. I mean, let's all just calm down. Who are you? A friend. An observer. A hitchhiker on the infinite expanse of possibility. Great, how about a name? If you must call me something, you can call me Nat.
Iggy huffed with gratification.
How about you make like a gnat and buzz off? Very well.
Nat began to turn away indifferently.
Wait, do you live here? You might say that. So you know where we are. You might also say that. Look, pal, we just want to find a safe way out of here. You gonna help us or not? Before knowing how to leave, one must know where they are. Alright, that does it. Luca, I don't know about you, but I'm getting out of here one way or another.
Iggy turned sharply and began to stomp off.
Enough with the riddles. Iggy, wait up.
Realizing he'd worn their patience then, Nat relented.
Very well, I suppose this isn't the time for metaphors. I'll show you how to get back home.
Luca and Iggy turned around with hope in their eyes.
Come here.
Nat took a deep breath in.
Close your eyes.
Nat exhaled slowly, then snapped his fingers.
Okay, open them.
For a brief moment, Luca and Iggy let themselves believe that some great magic was about to unfold, until they opened their eyes and found themselves in the exact same place. Cold and disheartened.
This is your home. This is Beacon Pines. Look, Nat, we don't know how we got here. Maybe we stumbled through some time travel gate in Weepwood, or we teleported to some alternate universe, or this is all just some cruel experiment by Karen and his goons. But this is not our home. You're inching closer to the truth. Alas, the reality is much less fanciful. Just give it to us straight. So be it. As I said, this is Beacon Pines. The original true Beacon Pines. sec, chat. Alright, chat, so I'm gonna stream for about 30 more minutes. We'll do an even 2 hours, and then I'm gonna head off. You both grew up here. But the town you've called your home for the past several years is a replica. A remarkable achievement of engineering, to be fair. But a replica nonetheless. That's impossible. It's too much work. You'd need a whole town to replicate a whole town. Indeed, to pull off such a feat would require immense labor power. That which could be moved would be moved. That which could not would require a precise duplicate. We would have noticed. Someone would have noticed. You'd think so, unless the auditing was impeccable. A mind-numbing attention to detail. As for the innumerable trivialities which complete the tapestry, well, you can leave that to this miraculous thing we call a brain. It has a real aversion to discontinuity, a revulsion even. The brain has a wonderful way of smoothing out the rough edges, keeping us sane. Luca and Iggy looked around uncomfortably. So you're saying that someone made an entire new town and moved us all and no one noticed? Precisely. But why? Why is the one question that can never be answered with certainty. The best one can do is uncover.
Nat narrowed his eyes, furrowed his brow, and uttered,
The source. Why'd you say the source like that? Why indeed?
Luca began to laugh uncomfortably.
It's all ridiculous. There's no way they could...
He looked down at his feet. His eyes darted back and forth in contemplation. With a sudden pain, a thought struck him.
If this really is home...
He sprinted off into the pale distance. As Iggy turned to follow, Nat called out,
Iggy, it's not too late to turn back. Simply head west through Weepwood.
Chapter 6. The Source. Nat expressed his sympathy with a shrug and sauntered off as unassumingly as he'd arrived. He'd given Luca and Iggy what they needed, and nothing more. As Luca sprinted across the snow, the events of the past few days became clearer, pieces to a larger puzzle. Rollo said he was underground somewhere, captured. Mr. Kerr tried to cover it up with lies. The clipboards were hell-bent on capturing Iggy. It all seemed to point to perennial harvest. But right now, there was one thing that Luca needed to know. Luca stopped dead in his tracks. The tree was gone, uprooted and moved, leaving a raw gash in the earth. He dropped to his knees and dug wildly at the cold snow.
He's looking for his dad's
Numb
grave.
hands hit something hard. A headstone. A dry whisper escaped Luca's lips.
You are here. All this time I thought I was visiting you. But you've been here, alone in the snow. Dad, I'm so sorry. They ruined your favorite spot in the whole world. Our favorite spot in the world. Dad, what do I do?
There was no reply, just snow-covered silence.
Why'd you give me the slip like that? What if I couldn't find you, you jerk?
Iggy finally noticed the tears welling in Luca's eyes and the snow-covered grave.
Oh. Iggy, they stole his tree, Iggy. Yikes.
Suddenly, they heard the crunch of approaching footsteps in the snow.
We gotta hide. 259K. Fall off distance still good. Dude, did you hear me? I said 259. Sorry. You ever think about what we did here? We saved a whole town of people. Doesn't feel like it sometimes. What about everything we left behind? That's the grave of someone with a family. The people who love them will never know the truth. Well, he just figured it out, so they do know the truth. The truth is overrated.
He bent down to scoop up a snowball and lobbed it playfully.
Hey, don't be such a downer, dude. We take this job to change the world. Yeah. Come on. It's almost lunchtime. That walking animation was so funny. Here I thought I was a jerk. These dinguses are out here literally dancing on graves.
Luca stuttered through heaving sobs.
I thought I was visiting him. I thought he was with me. Not gonna lie, that's a bad break. Here's some advice.
Iggy gave Luca a solid smack on the back of his head.
Hey, who's any of this helping? What? Sitting here in the snow crying like some pushover? Who you helping? Iggy, look what they did. They lied to everyone. Blah, blah, blah. Luca Van Horn, you're a lot of things, but you ain't no pushover. What did I tell you before? When some jerk comes at you acting like a horse's ass, I should stand up for myself. Hell yeah. Carrie and his merry little band of clipboards pulled off this switcheroo for a reason, right? Nat mentioned something about a source.
Luca wiped his eyes with a sleeve.
Whatever's at the source must be awfully valuable to Perennial Harvest. Sure would be a shame if something unfortunate were to happen to their precious source, wouldn't it? What do you have in mind? If it's small enough to steal, we snatch it. If it's too big to snatch, we smash it. And what if it's too big to smash?
Iggy flashed a mischievous smile and cracked his knuckles.
I'm always up for a challenge. I'm gonna make this right, Dad, I promise. Let's do this. Locate the source. It can get awful cold out there in those woods, Luca. Probably best you two stay put and conserve your energy. Help's on the way. Where's Rollo? Where's my mom? Did you kill her? Oh, heavens no. Do I seem like a killer to you?
Iggy and Luca shared a skeptical look.
Well, do I? Aw, shucks. Now that hurts my feelings. Screw that guy. Wait a minute. If this is the original town, then that means... Iggy darted behind a large...
digging furiously. He emerged holding a shoebox with a crude skull painted on its lid.
What's that? Long story. So a few years back, I came into possession of some premium grade fireworks. Not the wimpy firecracker stuff they give kids. The good stuff. So why did you bury it under a tree? That's the long part of the story. You and Rollo were doing chores at Rollo's chicken coop. And you guys pissed me off for some reason or another.
Luca rolled his eyes with realization.
No, you didn't.
Iggy stifled a chuckle.
Yep. I just wanted to give you guys a little scare. But like I said, these were some primo fireworks. So I might have underestimated things. You blew up the chicken coop? I prefer to think of it as an incendiary redecoration. Sorry, but you should have seen the looks on your faces. Rollo got grounded for months, which is why I needed to stash the evidence and lay low. So I buried him under that tree. But when I came back for him later, they were gone. I figured some grown-up found him and tossed him.
Iggy triumphantly raised the shoebox.
Turns out it wasn't the fireworks that got moved. It was us. Unbelievable. I hate the snow walking sound. It's so loud. Do you think this is a game? Newsflash, boyo. You're not a hero. You're a little brat who's in way over his head. A hero is just someone who refuses to give up. Comics these days are rotting children's brains. Everyone thinks they're a spaceman superhero. I was always partial to Hank Atomic myself. Is that so? Do you really think you have a chance against us? You have no idea how powerful we are. Prepare for blast off, loser.
Luca and Iggy inched up to the edge of the hole with bewilderment in their eyes. Arctic air breathed out of the cavern in heaving gusts.
So we're not just gonna jump into this hole, are we? Well, I could see why they wanted to move us all out of town now. But why would they dig a giant hole? I think this is it. This is the source? It's a dang hole. How do we smash a hole? Oh, it's much more than that, my annoying little friend. Care, where's Rollo? I wasn't lying before, he's safe. Well, safer than you two at least. Drats, it's cold. You just had to drag me all the way out here, didn't you?
Mr. Kerr gazed down the abyss in contemplation.
It really is something, isn't it? What did you do to our town? What is all of this? Well, that's a doozy of a question. This is the source, where they collect the unrefined,
Kerr scratched the back of his head.
Honestly, boys, I don't understand any of this well enough to explain it. Fact of the matter is, I'm not paid to know. What do you mean you don't know? Ain't you in charge? Oh heavens no, my role is merely to flash a winning smile and manage various complications. So he's not the big bad. There's somebody else that's the big bad. Complications like us? You are a smart boy.
His face contorted into a saccharine grin.
It really is nothing personal. Some people are destined to strive for greatness, and others are simply obstacles along the way. Seems like you were destined to be a creepy lackey. The point is that we all play our part in life. Mine just happened to be a lead in the role of a lifetime, and you happen to be extras, ready for your curtain call. We aren't giving up without a fight. Your smile's not going to be so winning after we're done with you. Now, boys, there's no need for melodrama. It makes even a professional such as myself embarrassed for you. Let's change the mood a bit.
Kerr snapped his fingers.
Scene change. There, that's better. Deal with them.
Iggy turned to Luca with a sly glance.
Why are you smirking? Because I have a box full of fireworks and you don't...
Iggy waved the box into the air, threatening to drop it down the hole.
Stop! Let's not do something regrettable. Joke's on you, regret is one of my specialties. Out of curiosity, what would happen if I threw these in your precious hole? Nothing. Nothing at all. You're a terrible liar. I'll have you know, I'm an exceptional liar. I would just do it. Just throw them in. Bop, bop, bop. That's far enough.
Iggy plucked a single bottle rocket from the box and held it up with reverence.
Stop, you fool. Call off your goons.
After a long pause, Mr. Kerr flung up his hand with frustration.
Very well. You can all head back for the night. It's been a long day. I'll handle these two from here.
Mr. Kerr sighed into the frigid air.
It's just us now, Iggy. You can put that down. What, like this?
With a nonchalant flick, Iggy tossed the firework into the hole.
See, I would have done that before, so I'm glad he did it. Ooh. Whoa.
With a growl, Kerr leapt at Iggy, crashing through Luca. Iggy tried to twist away, but in the struggle they both tumbled over the side. Luca dove forward, bracing Iggy's hand just before it slipped. His grip was made precarious by the cold, wet snow. He could see Kerr further down, clinging to Iggy's coat.
You reckless child, what have you done? Luca, listen to me. Hold on tight and use the walkie-talkie to call them back. What channel do I use? It doesn't make a damn difference, they're always listening. If you do that, the clipboards will just haul us up and snag us both. The only way you get out of this is if Kerr's out of the picture. Let's just go and save yourself. Just let go and save yourself. If he lets go, we both die. I don't want to die, but seeing the look on your face almost makes it worth it. Mr. Kerr, you've had a long life. Why don't you actually do something selfless and just let go?
Mr. Kerr gasped with insult.
Long life? I'll have you know I can still play 25. You should have heard me sing the part of Phileas Young.
With a wild look in his eye, Mr. Kerr began to hum a proud melody.
Wow, can you believe this guy? Hum.
Luca's hand began to cramp. His voice began to crack.
Kerr, just let go. No can do. If you want to save your friend, you'll have to save me too. Luca, look at me. It's okay.
Luca felt Iggy loosen his grasp.
You aren't gonna kill your friend like that, are you?
Every muscle in Luca's body burned.
I'm not his friend. Yes, you are. Nah, I'm just a no-good bully. Like you, Kerr. Iggy, no.
Luca felt his hand slipping.
And I told you what you need to do with bullies. I can't. It's your only way out of this mess. 2 birds with 1 stone. It makes sense for us to fall together. Wackadoos travel in packs.
A calm settled over Iggy's face.
Luca, let me do this.
Iggy's voice was colder than the bitter air billowing from the chasm.
Let me do the right thing for once. Luca had no choice but to refuse Iggy's request.
Luca had no choice but to refuse Iggy's request. He tightened his grip and reached for the walkie-talkie in his pocket. A wild delight crept onto Mr. Kerr's face. That's a good lad. Now, radio for help. Iggy begged Luca with his eyes one last time, but Luca pressed the button and called out, We need help. Mr. Kerr is in danger. It wasn't long before they were once again surrounded by clipboards. Mr. Kerr sighed with relieved frustration. There you are. You really are a worthless lot, aren't you? Mirror, now. A clipboard dutifully produced an ornate ivory hand mirror, and Mr. Kerr began preening his tousled hair. Ah, that's better. Mr. Van Horn, I applaud your sharp thinking under duress. I'll put in a good word for you with the founder. Take them away. A swarm of hands overpowered Luca. The last thing he saw before a cloth bag was pulled over his head was the defeated look on Iggy's face. The end.
We were supposed to kill them.
I think this was one of those times where doing the right thing was the wrong thing.
Okay. I know it'll save there. So I'm gonna call it. I will see you guys on Monday. Alright? Bye-bye. Oh, I'm stretching. Have a good weekend. Yeah, so we'll figure out, do you guys want to finish this game on Monday, or do you guys want to go back to Um, Dead Space. Oh my goodness, you both voted different things. I would have to figure out where to put the model for this game. That's the only thing. Tiebreaker? Who's the tiebreaker? If it's me, then I won't tell you till Monday. That could be a while, so I'd rather finish it. But if you guys want me to be the tiebreaker, you'll see on Monday. I'll surprise you. He would literally have no idea what I was talking about. I can ask in Discord. This has like 1 or 2 streams left. Yeah. I'll post the question in Discord and you guys can vote again if you want. I'm gonna head out now though, okay? Have a good weekend, as I said before, and I will see you guys on Monday.